Choose your character.
Round one.
All right.
Fight.
Welcome back to the Geekset podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is 101 with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, I think this is the first Harvard graduate that we got on the show, but I got the amazing, talented comedian, actor, a sports commentator now. I guess, yeah, we got Sir Lance Wood in the building. How are you doing, brother?
I am great. And I probably am the first. Really hard to get us Harvard graduates to, you know what I mean, to podcast. You know, we usually do things that are you know, a little more prestigious than podcast. We do things like
TED Talks,
interview, TED Talk, conversate. This podcast thing is a little tisk for my education, but you know, how to make do for you, Deuces, or twos, as I like to call you.
Me too, man. Yeah, no, I do appreciate your time, man. So one of the things I do make sure, man, I want to make sure that I give people their flowers while they're here and while they're on here. And one of the things that I really loved about just like your story and when I got introduced to you via Zooming with the homies is that you just are like, you are one of those people who are just naturally funny. Like you live in a moment, you live in a bit, like you're able to kind of have those conversations and find the funny in it. But then you're also able to have really highly educational and intellectual conversations. And that's to me, I love a big broad spectrum of comedy. I can like the low hanging comedy, but I do like the intellectual comedy as well. And that's where I found myself during the pandemic, you know, watching all these Zoom shows and everything. I found myself latching towards just different people who I heard them go a little bit deeper into it. So when we do going through all of the protests and going through just, you know, cancel culture, you would always take a moment to speak on it on a high level, you know, and then, you know, say you'll still throw in some comedy, but you was able to kind of just cipher in and out with that. And I thought that was really amazing. I wanted to commend you to that because when I look at comedy and certain people like the Chris Rocks and the D.L. Hughley's and the, you know, the Dave Chappelle's who have that type of comedy, that's what I see when I listen to your comedy or watch your comedy. You know, whether it's the Chocolate Sundays or whatever is, you know, what you did at Keep Your Distance Comedy. It's just, I love the level of comedy that you do because you can go on any spectrum. You can't really be boxed in. So I just wanted to let you know, man, that your comedy style is definitely appreciated and what you bring to the game.
I appreciate it. Matter of fact, let me go to my library. Let me go. All right, man. I think they talking about some intellectual. Let me go sit in front of my books. See, when I first read this one, never mind, we'll talk about these books later, but it's a lot of knowledge back there. Boy, let me tell you. But no, I appreciate it. So back in the day, and you know, I could be wrong, but this is just how I remember it. Back in the day, I used to look at the comedian like the person that was going to come make sense of all of this. So something would happen, and it's like, man, Chris Rock, please make sense of this. Yeah. Something will happen, and Richard Pryor, please make sense of this. You know, and down the list, Steve Harvey was like that for me, and it's like something big. OJ happened. Steve Harvey, please explain this so this makes sense to us. You know, and so on and so forth. And that's how when I first started, that's what I thought the comedian's job was. To make sense of everything. And then I learned that, you know, it's all kind of different styles and approaches and things, and they're all great. But I just remember early on, that's what I thought the comedian did was like, something crazy happened in the world and everybody's confused. And comedian, make this make sense. So, yeah.
And I think that that's, you know, we need that more than ever. Like, I get it that people who are toxic, who say things, but my whole thing is that it's like, it's that perspective, right? You got to understand who the person is saying it and understand where they're trying to come from, right? So sometimes, you know, especially when you catch a comedian on the road, they're working out a joke, they're working out a bit, you know, they're trying it out, they're punching it up, and they're going through that whole process, right? So it's like, I love that because I got to see certain people's thought process. You got to see how a joke formulated, but then you got to see the intellectual side of that joke. So somebody may have a hot take on cancel culture, and the hot take may be right off the rip, maybe you can't cancel everybody. But then as they work that joke, and then when you finally see it in its fruition at its highest form, when it's fully punched up and it's done and everything, you get to see that full thought process. Like, no, it's not about you can't cancel me. It's about because my intentions is pure, or because I'm asking questions because I don't know the answers. I'm trying to figure it out. So this is my comedic way of saying I am trying to figure this out and help everybody else figure it out as well. But it's just like you get to see that with just different things that are going on in the world. And I think that's one of the things that I love about comedy as well, because you look for those answers for people.
Yeah, and I don't even know what cancel culture is. Like, this is a real question that I was asking somebody. Who has been quote unquote canceled? Like, what does that even mean at this point?
Yeah.
What's the girl's name? Is it Chrisette Michelle?
The one that performed
For Trump's thing, right? So I seen an article where she was talking about how since she done that, like, she ain't been getting shows and all that kind of stuff. So okay, we can say her. She feels very canceled. How she feels. I don't know who else has.
Yeah, it's hard because there's always somebody on the other side that's going to be like, well, you know, that's just the world that we're in. It's hard to cancel people. I think at most we can inconvenience people. We can inconvenience people, you know, make it a little bit harder for you to get your dollars. But like you said, we can't really cancel anybody.
Yeah, I think it'd be like a lot of talk. And then what happens with talk is that actually helps people. So, you know, the phrase, all publicity is good publicity, it ain't always true, but a lot of times it is. It's like, they talking about quote unquote canceling Dave Chappelle, that's not even possible, right? So his last special, people still talk about it. It came out November, I think it came out November 6th. So I think that would make it like a month ago or something that it came out. And people talk about it still. Now, most time when a Netflix special, comedy special comes out, people talk about it for a few days and then goes away. But this has been talked about, and people, I was at the arena yesterday, and there's people who I know don't watch Dave Chappelle comedy. Right. Were talking to me about it. Because they're talking about the quote unquote canceling of it, now everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. So
it's like, oh, Chappelle be like, yo, this cancel thing is great. Keep canceling me. This is fantastic.
That's actually what he said. He said that verbatim. And then, you know, again, my whole thing about everything, and I always say it because, you know, I got family and friends in the LGBTQ community. I got people that are actual activists in it. So I take the stance of listening to what they say and kind of hearing their perspective of it. But the one great thing that I learned, and this was what I try to tell certain people. I was like, yes, there are people that are mad at Dave Chappelle, and there are people that want to cancel Dave Chappelle. But from the activists, and I'm only speaking from the people that I know, activists within the LGBTQ community, and that are they more so want to have that conversation with Dave, and they just want him to understand, like, okay, you did 3 specials and you brought us up in a specific light. This is why we don't like that, or, you know, they want to have that conversation. They're not necessarily looking at canceling them. Like one of my peers who I was talking to, who is part of the LGBTQ community. She was telling me, she said, I'm just more so disappointed in Dave because all of his other jokes seem more intellectual than the ones that he put towards us. you can joke on us, but do it in an intellectual way. And so like, you know, me, I'm like, you know, that's everybody's perspective. That's her perspective. But I thought that that was the most reasonable outtake from this whole situation. It's not that she wants to cancel him and wants him to stop doing comedy. She just wanted him to take a more intellectual approach to the LGBTQ community. I said, okay, I can understand that, because you know it is up in the air depending on who you are talking to. But for the most part, most of the people that I talk to, they're not necessarily trying to cancel him. They're more so they just want to have that conversation with them and for him to understand how they felt during that moment. So
yeah, but and they gotta fucking relax. You know how fucking crazy it'll sound for someone to tell Dave Chappelle, like, your jokes are fine, but you need to be more intellectual. You're like, yo, get the fuck out my face.
And you know, like I said, it's different perspective, you know. But I mean, the like you said, you was in an arena and people came to you. It kind of goes back to what we were saying. People want to hear what stance is on, even on that. They want to, oh, what do you think? They wanted to hear what Lance thought about it, because again, like you said, back in the day, that's what we went to. We went to comedians to kind of just say, hey, let's talk about it. Figure this out. What is you? Because they know that you're going to have some type of long form thought process to it. And I think that we got to continue to extend that to comedians, is let them let them be that voice. Because, you know, whether you agree with the comedian or not, comedians usually are using their voice to amplify specific, you know, this is a thought process. This is how I figured it out. This is what I'm thinking of. And because they're on that stage and they're the one on that stage, you get to hear that whole thought process, unless you're a heckler and you fucking up the show, but you get to hear the whole thought process. And then you as the audience get to say, oh, okay, you know, that actually makes sense. Or, you know what, I really don't agree with that. But it's like, you still get that perspective from the comedian. And I think that that's the slippery slope of what I don't want to lose with this whole situation and with everything, is that I want comedians to feel free to speak, because I do like to hear different perspectives. That's one of the reasons why I love listening to podcasts, why I do podcasts. I like to hear other point of views. I like to hear your thought process on how you got there. Whether I agree with you or not, I want to know, how did you get to that point? And I think that that's one of the things about comedy that we got to preserve, is trying to hear how people got to a specific thought process.
Yeah, and you're never gonna get that genuinely if you're trying to quote unquote cancel people. It's not possible to have both of those things. If everybody is, you know, a lot of comedians that people feel like are not funny or not this, is like, because I mean, y'all handcuffing them. It's like, you don't want them to talk about this or this, and then say, go be funny. And it's like, well, a big part of comedy is the comedian is saying the things that you wish you could say. That's when when Kings of Comedy came out, Bernie Mac was fuck them kids and doing all of that. It's right. Like it was a moment at that time where it's like, I said what you can't say.
Yeah, that was.
I know you feel like this, son. Bitch, I know you love. But if you're not doing that,
right?
You know what I mean? Then what are we even talking about?
Right, and that was his thing. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's kind of like, you know who you're gonna go to. You go to specific comedians for specific things. Like, you know, you're a big basketball fan. You're not gonna look at Steph Curry to give you the high flying dunks. Like, you know. Not going to give you that. He's going to give you behind the arc logo threes. He's going to give you the fancy layups, but he ain't going to give you that dunk. So you like, you know what I'm saying? But you don't go to him for that. There was a time where certain comedians, you knew, you know what I'm saying? Even somebody that's in your top 5 comedians, you said Patrice O'Neal was one of your top 5, in which he is my top 5 as well. Patrice O'Neal is amazing, but you went to his show knowing what you was going to get into, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, he was things, you know what I'm saying? He was a little bit hard on women, but you knew that. You know what I'm saying? You knew that his POV and his perspective was going to be that. But you knew what type of comedy that was going to be. You know what I'm saying? You didn't go to his comedy show expecting, you know, a clean cut comedian. You know, that's like going to Chris Rock and expecting him not to say nigga. It's like, you know, certain comedians have certain things that they're going to say or how they're going to be. And so it's like, that's another thing. It's like, why are you at this show you know, and not even using Dave Chappelle, but like in general, why go to a comedy show and then expect something different? Like a couple of weeks back, who was it? Who was it that had the lady that came up on the stage?
Oh, that was Afion.
Afion, right?
Yeah.
What did you like? Why were you at the show? And then what did you expect to get out of that coming on stage? The crowd was like, "Fam, get off the damn stage, lady." It's like,
Yeah.
to know what type of setting that you are in. If you are somebody who gets easily offended, maybe a comedy show is not for you. You know?
Yeah, but you know, once again, that lady came on stage, and it wasn't even about offense. It was about her notion that she should be able to do what she wants to do, or she should be able to get her point across, or
I thought she got offended by a joke or something.
No. The point is the same. Like, maybe she was offended by a joke, but you sit your offended ass down. But the issue is, in her brain, because she was offended, she should be able to go on stage and express her offense, which is the point that Chappelle was making on the other end. In this country, you can shoot a nigga in Walmart, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings.
Yeah.
Which I thought was intellectual enough. You know what I mean? Like, everybody got to relax, man. And if you think it's that easy to write these jokes and try to all make it make sense, then go do it.
Man, listen here. I got such a high level of respect for y'all. I would like, I'm doing this podcast thing, you know what I'm saying, and being on different shows and stuff like that. You always get people like, oh man, you funny as hell. And I've been fortunate enough to interview some really dope comedians, right? And so, of course, people who see my content see me, you know what I'm saying, chopping it up with y'all. So like, oh yeah, you gonna do it? And I'm like, fam, hell no. Like, do you see what they do? Like, again, I got to see certain people work a joke. And, you know what I'm saying, finally put it on whatever big platform. So because I saw that process, I'm like, one, that is work, you know what I'm saying? And me, I do music as well as the podcast. One of the reasons why I gravitated towards comedian is because y'all hustle and grind is the same as an up and coming rapper hustle and grind to me. Like the way that y'all talk about being in the green room, showing up at clubs, you know what I'm saying, trying to get on the bill, you know what I'm saying, and putting in that work of actually doing those small rooms, building it up, building the name. I can relate to it because as an up and coming artist and doing my thing, same thing. I'm showing up at clubs, showcases, performing for like 2, 5, 6 people, 10 people, like not the biggest crowd, but I'm like, I'm going to put on a show so that way people remember and that crowd gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm like, if I had to put that much work into my music and I'm seeing comedians put that much work into comedy, just because I have a conversation with a comedian doesn't mean that I have the balls to jump on that stage and do what they do. Like, hell no, I got way too much respect for y'all to even do that. So when people be having that perspective, like, oh yeah, I'm funny in the break room, I'm probably gonna do some stand-up. I'm like, fam, you make sure you do the work. Don't just think you're gonna be out the gate. You know,
what city? Milwaukee. Okay. So you're close to Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and close to Indiana. Yeah. It's interesting to get you in a spot like Milwaukee. I don't know what the scene is like out there. Actually, I knew a lady from Milwaukee's real sweet lady. I was on a cruise. I was doing shows on a cruise, and I met it was like 4s, like beautiful Black women. They was like retired. Yeah. So they would just go on cruises. This was obviously before COVID. It's actually like 2019. And I was like, yo, I want to go to Milwaukee. That's how fine they was. I need to go to Milwaukee. I thought y'all have nothing but the Bucks, but apparently
everybody thinks that. Listen here, man. Milwaukee got some fine women here. I think it's funny because like for the longest, everybody only knew us for like Cuckoo Cow. Like everybody like, oh yeah, Cuckoo Cow in my projects, and you know what I'm saying, and then the Bucks. But people still forget that, like people think that there's not Black. Like we are heavily Black influence in Milwaukee. There's a whole lot of Black culture, whole lot of Black folks, whole lot of dope spots. But like, yeah, we don't have that much comedy You know, we have a few, you know, Cheating Ass Myron's from here. I don't know if you be watching any of his videos online, but like he does a lot of stuff. And like, but like most of the people from Chicago, from Milwaukee who do comedy, they do jump over to Chicago or Detroit or, you know what I'm saying, and hit those.
Yeah. I was telling somebody the music grind looks impossible from the outside.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it looks impossible. You know, the one thing about comedy that's interesting in comparison to music is if I'm on a show, if I'm on stage and people are coming to a comedy show, people are actually listening to hear if they like me.
Yeah.
Right. When you're performing music, nobody want to hear that shit if they don't know it already.
Right. Exactly.
It's like if they can't sing along with you, they kind of just doing other stuff. So it's like it's no instant gratification unless you're in a place that has really like cultivated some kind of culture that they are listening to the artist. But a lot of the music shows I've been to, I ain't give a fuck about that artist unless like, especially like when you go to like a music show, like say you going to see whoever perform. I don't want to use like the biggest name in the world because I think that might be a little different vibe. But let's say
hometown
like,
legend.
Say who?
Even if it's like a hometown legend.
Okay, yes. Okay, so let's say you in the Bay Area and Too Short is performing, right? Too Short goes on at this venue. It's like, let's say it's 1,000 seater venue. Everybody's like standing up. It's like one of those type of spots. So now Short show start at 8. That means Short coming on about 10:30.
Yeah.
So all you niggas who rapped from 8 to 10:20, the crowd just didn't give a fuck that you was there. You was rapping your heart out and they was doing other stuff. And you was trying to get them to sing along and rock with you. And, come on, y'all. And everybody's like, nigga, where is Short?
Where is Short Dog? But you know what? Another thing that I love the comedy world as well that you guys do that I don't see in any other industry is, and I heard multiple comedians say that. Let's say you're a host in a night. If there's a newcomer and you may throw them a 5-minute set, like you got a 5, you want to get up, you can get up. That's one thing that I don't see in any other industry. Music shows, the music show is set. You can't just show up, you know what I'm saying, and potentially jump in and get a 5 or whatnot. And then the host, even with the host, the good host, because I've heard some hosts really fuck some shit up for y'all, but like the good host will give you a good introduction, like yo, all right, we got, you know what I'm saying, it's Sir Lance Woods, like, you know, not, you know, obviously you got a bigger name in general, but just like if you were still on that, you know what I'm saying, that come up grind, that host will set you up for at least, so that way you can get your opener off, so that way you can the crowd can figure out, all right, am I fucking with Lance or not? You know what I'm saying? But like I don't hear that in any other community where, like, you know what I'm saying, people like the community look out for each other. And then even y'all OGs, I feel like every comedian has an OG. You know what I'm saying? That kind of, you know, you help them navigate to certain things. And it's a lot of the dope people. I mean, I don't know if Tony Roberts is your OG, but like I see y'all work a lot. And I know Tony Roberts been doing it for a while, one of the greatest. And you know what I'm saying? But it's always dope because like when y'all get together, that's the one thing I loved about Zooming with the homies. I felt like I was in the green room with y'all. And y'all would talk. That was a constant, like, who was your OG? You know, and y'all had those nights, or, you know, where y'all grinded it out with an OG, or y'all grinded it out with the new, because like, especially y'all new wave, you, Tahir, BT, Keon, Tony, Kev, like just the new wave of comedians and y'all camaraderie is so inspirational to me, because even with this podcast world and what I'm doing, it's me and my bros who I do the podcast with. And we got certain people that rock with us, but it's like, I don't got no OG, you know what I'm saying? There's no content creator OG. If I had, I would love to have somebody be a mentor to me, but we don't have that. So it's like, I love seeing what y'all built, you know what I'm saying? Because by the time I got onto you, again, Zooming with the Homies was rocking. So Tahir was doing so much of putting so many comedians in front of people. And then I became fans of all of y'all. And now I'm listening to the Black Tea podcast, and I'm listening to Daddy's Issue podcast, and Damn Internet You Scary. And I'm in this content world with y'all, but it's because y'all show so much love and support to each other. I bought into what y'all was selling.
Yeah. And Tahir did a great job of that. Cause so the interesting thing about Zooming with the Homies was that the green room feeling you talking about was really on display in the early Zooming episodes.
It definitely was. When y'all was going 4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours, it'd be 10 comics in there, 11 comics, everybody just going. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then once Tahir starts looking at us like, oh no, we can actually like kind of produce this and make this like actually be something. And it was still a green room feel, but it wasn't like the early ones.
No, it was not.
Early ones was like real green room, like, hey man, you remember that nigga did this? And it was like when then Tahir started like hosting it, like then it felt like a late night show, which was amazing. But yeah, shout out to Tahir. Shout out to Tahir, obviously. Zooming with the Homies was legendary, is legendary because it's not past tense.
This is how I knew I was all in for just living in this world. There wasn't that many up and coming people that I really like supported the way I felt like I support, people with the Zooming with the Homies, right? So it got to the point where I'm like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? When they got the Cash App up, yo, let me throw them some tip. Because I get it. I understand where the pandemic is, but I'm like, this is entertainment. I tuned in every night to watch Zooming with the Homies. I had my drink and I got it on the screen. I'm like, yo, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
this is what I thought. This is where I was like, where like just that collective and just kind of everybody, like even with you being here right now, this is why I really bought into it. So to hear, I was on Zooming with the Homies twice. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I got to showcase my podcast, my music, just kind of what I'm doing. And throughout this process of me building my podcast and doing these interviews, I've been fortunate enough to interview damn near majority of people that appeared on Zooming with the Homies. Mm-hmm. Everybody's been more than accommodating. I hit them up, yo, let's coordinate time, let's get this popping, and I make sure I put it in the best light. And everybody's been so dope. So I like, even though I'm not a comedian and I'm just this content creator doing podcasts and stuff like that, the love that y'all gave to hear and y'all give each other, I felt that because I'm like, yo, these niggas is on my podcast. They don't got to be here. They're, you know what I'm saying? They got shows that they're doing. They got content that they creating. But niggas is giving me 45 minutes to an hour at a time for us to chop it up. And I truly appreciate it. And that's when I knew I was like, yo, these are solid individuals. It's like from the outside, you just look at comedy as like comedy. You think everybody's these jokesters, but like seeing that and seeing you guys chop it up and seeing who you guys are and what you guys stand for and your morals, it was something that I really latched onto and attached to. Like, yo, these are some solid cats, and I got a high level of respect for everybody.
But don't call yourself a content creator. You're much more than that.
Thank you.
That's the inside joke that you don't know about, but I'm gonna tell you about it.
Okay.
But I mean what I'm saying. But so the first time I met Paul Mooney.
Okay. I just know it's gonna be a good story.
First time I met Paul Mooney, we at the Punchline. So I think it was a Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday night. I think he's there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I say I'm gonna go watch the legendary Paul Mooney. This was many years ago. I was like, I'm gonna go watch Paul Mooney. So they ended up putting me in charge of watching over somebody because he was with somebody who wasn't supposed to be drinking. So I was supposed to make sure that this person don't drink. And then this person has somehow got a drink. And it was a night. But at some point, I after the show, I'm talking to Paul Mooney, and I was like, I said, hey man, it was a pleasure that I could, it was a pleasure to watch you work. And he said, He said, well, thank you. And I said, he said, are you coming back tomorrow? I said, no, I got a show. I got a show tomorrow, Mr. Mooney. I just wanted to check you out. And he said, no, I said, I got a show tomorrow, Mr. Mooney. I'm a comedian too. And then he said, check me out. His brother said he gonna come check me out. And quit calling yourself a comedian. You're much more than that. Much more. Don't I tell you that every time I see you? Every time I see you, I tell you you're much more than that. And I was sitting there thinking like, nigga, this is the first time you've ever seen me. This is our first interaction. But I was like, yeah, you do tell me that every time you see me. You're right. You're right. And then he was like, you got your camera, take a picture. And we took a picture. And I was like, that was wild. This rest in peace to the legendary Paul Mooney. Obviously, he's nice as shit.
No, you hear a lot of good things. Like people always talk about Paul Mooney, but everybody has a great story about Paul. Now I've come to realize that everybody has a great story about Paul Mooney, and then anybody who's been fortunate enough to work with Samuel Jackson, they have a great story about Samuel Jackson as well. Like I've been
so when I first worked with Samuel Jackson, check this out. I'm fucking with you. I never worked with Samuel. So check this out. He was like, motherfucker. Nah,
So, support for 101 with Deuces is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools from your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code Deuces at manscaped.com. Again, that code is Deuces at manscaped.com. So imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes your shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try the 4.0, and ever since I got that introduced in my life, I've been blown away by the performance. Their craftsmanship and their details in the 4.0 are next level. Now, Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredible, comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel comfortable shaving my boys down below, if you get what I'm saying. Now, this upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives you the ability to turn on the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for more precise shave. Trust me, that light comes in handy. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4. And did I mention wireless charging? No, I did not, but I'm telling you now. The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Now, men, if you have been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong and you are out of your mind. Stop it, because no person wants to end up with pubes in their mouths. It is time to get your own ball and hair body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. So again, get you 20% off plus free shipping with the code Deuces at manscaped.com. Again, that code is Deuces at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job. Manscaped. I mean, as your star rises and everything like that, you start doing stuff for Sacramento Kings. Now, so what is your official title with them? I guess, like, what do you like? What when people ask, what do you do for the Sacramento Kings? What do you tell them?
I tell them I play.
I mean, yeah, I remember you said you were suiting up for the bubble, but then you know.
Yeah. Nah. So what happened was, so I give you like a breakdown of the scenario. So, my official title. Okay, I think I don't have an official title.
Okay.
Let's just say I work in NBA media.
Yeah, you definitely.
I think that's I can officially say I am an accredited member of the NBA media.
Yeah. And
so
you're great content too with it.
oh, appreciate it. So so this is what I'll say. And I want to give you the backstory because I think this could help somebody.
Okay.
So I don't remember the exact. I could look up the date, but it was the day before Halloween, I believe, something like that, or the day after Halloween, something like that. Anyway, it's not the point. I'm pulling up to a show, right? Pulling up to a show, and I was like looking at the Kings had just won, and it was like their fourth win in a row, and the city was excited. And then I was like, I gotta shoot a video about this. But it was like it was so strong on me to do the video. It was like God was saying, no, you have to do it now. Like, don't wait till after, like you have to shoot this right this second. Okay. All right, so I'm in my car, like I'm sitting in my car. And like my boy had rode down with me to the show because the show's like an hour and a half from the house. So I was like, hey, you can just go inside and I gotta shoot this video. So I shoot the video and I'm doing it all and I'm posting it. To the point to where when I'm going on stage, like they like, okay, your headliner coming to the, and I'm doing this, like trying to get it posted as he's announcing me to the stage. Like on the walk up to the stage, no exaggeration. On the walk up to the stage, I'm like, okay, let me make sure this is on Twitter. All right, because we got Instagram, we got Facebook. Like, as I'm like walking, everybody clapping, give it up for Lance Schwartz. Hey. All right, how y'all doing? You know what I mean? Like, it was like that. So, and I remember because this was 2018. I feel like 2018 makes sense. Yeah, I feel like it was 2018, and like I was doing it, man, and or 2017, 2018. Anyway, so I'm doing it, and you know when you post enough stuff and you see enough stuff, you kind of get a feeling of how things are gonna go. You like, oh, this video should do well, and whatever well is for you at that time, whatever number you used to, you like, oh yeah. And I remember it just didn't stop. It'd be like, sometimes you post a video and you like, they still commenting on this 2 days later. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing that I remember was Twitter. Because I never ever, and this is my second page now because they shut down my old Twitter. Yeah.
I was doing the promo. I'm like, where's this page? I know I followed him. And I was like, I'm like, oh, you got 2 S's now. And I was like,
it's Lance Woods. Now, they done put my name on flat. So, but it was like a lot of Twitter response. And at that time, I didn't even use Twitter. I just had one because I felt like I was supposed to, but I rarely even used Twitter. But it was like all of these Twitter responses. And I was like, what is happening? Now let me rewind something for you. 2017, I feel like this had to be 2017. Anyway, DeMarcus Cousins had got traded from the Kings.
Okay.
Like a year or so prior to that. And I had made a video that had the same kind of traction. And then I didn't do nothing else. I just made the video. The year before that, I had made a 49er video that had went crazy viral, like millions and millions and millions of views. And then that was it. So in the past, I got this 49er video. I got this DeMarcus Cousins video. You feel what I'm saying? So when I did this Kings video after they had won, like early in the year, like 4 straight wins. Once I seen the movement of it, I said, I have to keep going. Because I've done these viral type things before, but I didn't keep going. So I knew that from those last times, like, oh, you just got to keep going and see what happens. So then the Kings won their next game. And I remember the girl I was with at the time, lucky her, she was going to get her nails done or a wax. I think she was going to get waxed or something like that. We was at her crib watching the game. I think she was going to get waxed. I'm shooting a video in her crib. And so while she's like, I'll go with you to your wax thing. I'm just in the car doing all of the edits and doing everything. And then it's like the same response. I'm like, okay. And then I started to see like the people who liked the video, like the owner of the team liked it. And I was like, oh, okay. Something might be cooking. You know what I mean? Next game, they lost. I remember I was at a friend of mine's, their child's birthday party at a pizza spot. The team lost. I said, yo, I'll be right back. Yo, I had to go sit in my car. I said, I got to go make this video. So I'm sitting in my car. It's like, whatever I was saying at that time. And within 30 minutes of me posting that video, I get an email. And it was like, yo, would you come? Would you come on the pregame show and just talk? Like the Kings was like, would you come? And I was like,
yes.
So yeah, I would.
Find some time, let me
I think I could pull that off. I think I can do it.
Yeah.
So I go do that. And then it kept going from there. Because it was the response that I was getting on television, because I've been a traveling comedian at this point. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was someone who was not used to entertaining.
Right.
And it's like, and see, I think the thing that like amazed them or worked with them the most is we've never had a script. We've never had a script, and I've never said anything that they had to bleep out or edit. Because the scary thing about comedians, they always think a comedian's gonna say something that's gonna cross the line. And I be talking about players and people, but I never say anything offensive about them. Or let me not say that, because anybody can get offended by anything, right? But I never say anything that I deem disrespectful or that they've deemed disrespectful, because they've never approached me and said like, yo, I didn't like how you said that. And I say a lot, you know what I mean? And this is players for Kings and other teams too. I got videos about all kinds of stuff. And I've built relationships with players and people because I've made videos about them. Yeah, but I made videos about them that was all in the spirit of fun and funny, and none of it felt like I was being disrespectful to them or calling them out their name. Or I always feel like when you talk about somebody, you should be able to say all of that right in front of their face.
That's it. That's the thing. It's kind of like I said, it's roasting. When you roast your homies and stuff like that, like you ain't trying to really hurt your homie. So you just whatever the roast is, you know what I'm saying? You could be roasting. I know like you do a lot with Mikey Winfield and BT. So let's say if you joke with me today about any of them, that you'll say that same joke in front of them.
Yeah.
So when you're creating your content, I think that's why you're widely successful, because you're not saying anything crazily disrespectful, and then you're even hearing people laugh. Like even like as sensitive as the situation was with KD leaving, when you told the joke, right, Westbrook was all laughs when you told that.
Oh yeah.
But it was like, it's because it wasn't disrespectful. It was just hey man, look, we didn't know what he was talking about, but now we know.
Yeah, it's just that was a joke I was proud of, and it was the main reason I was so proud of it is because I wrote it on the spot.
I was going to ask you that, because I was like, was that something that you already planned, or was that because you like in the moment you was living in that moment? So that's dope.
I literally wrote that joke 4 minutes before I said it. And I've told the story before, but I'll make it short. It was Westbrook had got traded an hour before the show started.
Oh.
And we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they love Russell Westbrook all over the world, but especially in Oklahoma City, all of that. So he keeps getting up and like walking out because he's taking phone calls and stuff because he just got traded and all this stuff. So I was like, I got to find a way to make him sit still when I'm on stage because I don't want, I don't want to be on stage and I'm in the middle of a joke and he get up and the whole crowd start looking over there and then they try to find, you know what I mean? And it's distracting. So we have Juice, the comedian who put the show together, was close friends with Russ. So Russ was coming over there, kind of standing by where we were at because it was like secluded and it was off and you can kind of take a call and it was right by the like an exit back there. So Juice was like telling Russ like, yo, you gotta watch this dude. He's funny as shit talking about me. And I'm standing right there. And then Russ was like, all right, man, I can't wait to watch you. And then I told Russ, I was like, I met you before because I had met Russ once before. And I was like, I'm gonna talk about it on stage. And I was lying. I had met him before, but I didn't have no plans on talking about it on stage. But I just wanted to give him something to be like, let me sit and wait because he said he's gonna say something. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about, I was on stage when I was like, I got it. Like I was doing another joke and then it was like, boom, got it. That's the punchline. Okay, cool. I was like, whoo, all right. And that's how that happened.
That's dope. That's living in that moment, man. Having that wherewithal just to kind of be like, yo, I got these jokes going and everything, and just being able to assess the situation. That's the brilliance of comedians, man. I love hearing that thought process and everything. So, so another thing
what's all these toys and shit behind you?
Oh man, we're a geek podcast, so we talk about comic books, video games, anime, and everything like that. So that's what all this stuff is back here, man. We're black geeks, man.
I know that, but I'm trying to see specifically. I see a dinosaur with a boomerang.
No. So this is Predator. This is Predator.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is Dragon Ball Z, Goku, Power Rangers, Demon Slayer. This is me and my podcast people. We got our own cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
Our stuff up with mad geek shit, man.
Oh, that's a Predator?
Yeah, that's a Predator. This is from the Predators movie.
Man, I thought a Predator was like Jerry Sandusky or some shit like that.
That's a different type of Predator. You don't know, from Aliens and Predators.
I'm fucking with you.
Hey, so one of the things though that I thought was really dope is that so you have the date down to a T, November 2nd, 2010. That was the last time that you had a job.
Yes.
Yeah, what was that job?
I worked at Comcast, Xfinity. I don't know if y'all got that out there.
Yeah, it was Time Warner and now it's Spectrum.
Same shit. I worked for the cable company and I was in the call center.
Hey, so I'm a manager at a call center right now. Like literally that's job, you know what I'm saying, while I do this and everything. But yeah, so yeah, you live that call center like that.
Yeah, you be in the call center and you had your spiel and you had to say it every time. Thank you for calling Comcast. My name is Lance. How can I help you? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully I can help you with that. Can I have the last 4 of your social just to verify your identity? Okay, got you. Mrs. Johnson. Is it okay if I call you Brenda? Okay. All right. Thank you, Brenda. So you saying your internet isn't working. Now, when you say it's not working, do you mean your computer won't come on at all? What happens when you load up your computer?
Well, because I got to ask those probing questions. That's what they call it.
I asked all the probing questions, and 70% of the time you find out it's just because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Now, during that time, I always ask this when people like going through that. So that was your last job. So that means that during that time you were actively doing comedy, correct? Or was this so were you doing shows and inviting people from the gig to the show?
Yeah. So yeah, but that was early. So hold on. I said no. November 2nd, 2011 is my last day job, not 2010.
Oh, I thought you said you had 11 years in the game. All right, so 2011. Okay.
So June 2nd, 2010 was my first time ever getting on stage.
That's it. You're right.
November 2nd, 2011 was my last day at the day job. Now, but from from June 2nd, 2010 until about January of 2011. I probably was on stage 4 or 5 times.
So
Like
what,
I didn't know how nothing worked. I didn't know no comics. I went to that spot, I did it. I went to that spot and did it. Then I had like a talent show at work. Yeah. That's when the vagina levels in the Comcast skyrocketed.
just going through this, just running through Comcast.
Hey, so because you got okay, so look at this. I did the talent show in 2010, right?
Right.
Skyrocketed, right?
Yeah.
Now they did the talent show again in 2011. Now by this time, because once 2011 hits early, and I'm learning how to actually get out, and I'm figuring out I'm supposed to be out, and then I'm kind of building up some momentum. By the time the talent show hit in 2010, they were promoting the work talent show as if it was just a Lance Woods comedy show in the break room.
Oh, okay.
And the whole office, everybody's off and they just watching me.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it felt like a sold out show because everybody was like anticipating it. You was getting work emails. It was saying talent show, but my picture, it was like talent show, but it'd be like a picture of me. Exactly. It's like come to the Comcast work or Xfinity work talent show and see what happens. And I'm in that bitch like this.
That's dope, man.
And then it's like, you know, when I understood that part early. I understood the stuff you're talking about in the moment. So I could talk about people at work and everybody gets it. But I wasn't like roasting people. I was just saying stuff that we all understood.
Like, man, look at Brenda. She remember Brenda put the fish in the microwave and had the whole office thinking?
All of that kind of stuff. I was able to do that because that's actually how I started, was in my church, and I started comedy in my church, and I would do that kind of stuff in church.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So that's really dope because that's where that kind of like those improv skills come from and stuff like that. What was the definitive moment where you was like, you know what, I'm gonna put my all into this. I am not gonna do the 9 to 5 because I'm teeter-tottering in that area right now, like where I'm been having some success with my podcast and music. You know, saying something to a point where I'm like, okay, I need to make a decision at some point. And I always like to hear people's story of when did you leave the traditional workforce and go full-fledged into what you are doing now?
For me, it was easy when I got fired.
Okay.
Yeah, when they told me enough is enough. But I was about to quit anyway.
Okay.
I was just sometimes you got to get pushed out. So, you know, I was saving. I was like putting money away. I ain't gonna say putting money away. I ain't never been the best at saving, but I had a plan. I had a financial plan. I was like, okay, cool. I should be able to survive off of this. And then at the time, well, I don't know who all listen to your podcast. So it's certain stuff I don't want to talk about as far as taxes. But let's just say I had a plan with my income taxes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got fired in November, and usually the taxes would get there in about February. So I was like, I got enough. I got rent to cover November, December, January. Taxes would be here in February. And then I had a real financial plan with my taxes. And then I got audited.
Man.
And let's just say they took a lot of money from me.
Man, unexpected expenses is the worst.
And when I say a lot, I'm talking about some bands.
Trust me, I was there before.
Yeah. I'm talking about
you're not saying a lot, but I understand fully what you're talking about.
I'm talking about some HBCU, some bands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about gambling versus some bands. So then I had to change my plan. I had to go harder because not even and I'll say this too, not just harder, but sometimes you got to learn how to minimize your bills. You got to learn how to figure out, because a lot of things we pay for are very unnecessary.
Mhm.
And once you can kind of, okay, what am I paying for that I don't need? Let's find that out first. Let's start there. What am I do I need cable? Do I need all these channels?
Right.
Because that, you know what I mean? Okay, cool. So we just figured out how to get
70 bucks a month.
we just saved 150 a month right there. Okay,
Right.
cool. Car insurance.
Hey, listen here. I ain't had
I
cars.
mean, you know, if y'all knew how to drive, I'd be okay.
Man, listen here. Bro,
You
I
know,
used to travel across state lines with the most suspended license, like the plates. And every time I got pulled over, I would play it to the T. What? My license suspended? What?
oh shit.
It was like, man, that was like 2 years ago. Like, damn, I didn't even know.
Oh yeah, my shit was expelled at one time. It was past suspension.
It was rough out here.
They told me I would never come back to class. But yeah, you just start to like look at your finances, because one of the worst things you can do is start making more money and then start spending more money, so then you don't even feel like you're making more money.
I forgot, somebody literally just said that, and that resonated with me so much. Where it was like the issue with people, and mostly like Black people, once you get more money, you start spending more money. And so it doesn't, like, you get a raise, you get more money, and it doesn't feel like you came up because your expenses went up. You got to keep your expenses where it's at and allow that money to grow. And I said, damn, I've definitely fall in that category of I've been getting more money, then I spend more money. And I'm like, damn, what the hell? Like, this shit is not.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you can't really buy anything out. Like America, the way that a lot of the systems is set up, is not really for you to buy stuff. It's for you to pay on them monthly. So you feel like I got more, but no, you're just paying on more. You know what I mean? Did my sound go out? Did your sound go out?
I can still hear you.
Okay. All right, cool. So it's like, okay, now you went to go buy a new car, but you didn't just go cash out. Now you just added another $500 a month expense. And now you want a new phone. Most people don't even go buy the phone. They just add it to the bill. So now your phone bill went from $70 a month to $120 a month. And then, you moved into a better house or whatever. So now your mortgage or your rent went from this to that. It's like all of these new expenses, and now I can afford cable. I can get my own Netflix, and now I want Hulu Live when they got all. I don't want no commercials on my YouTube. And you do all of this stuff, and now you look up and you just added another. You make an extra $1,000 a month, and then you added an extra $950 worth of bills.
It's a vicious cycle, man.
So now you make $50 more a month. Ooh, look at you, Mr. Money Man.
Talk to me nicely. I got an extra 50 now.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to be careful. You got to be aware of that stuff, man.
Yeah, man. All right. So, man, we got a few segments before we get you out of here. But one thing I did want to just ask before I get into the segments. Last year you was doing a podcast and you were saying that you were writing working on a documentary and two things that you were writing with Tony Roberts. I did want to ask, like, is that still going good? What's the where you guys at with those?
The you talking about the mockumentary?
When you said it, you said documentary, so it may be a mockumentary. I couldn't find much information on it, so that's why I'm like, let me ask.
It's done.
Oh, okay.
It's done, yeah, and we got to figure it out, and that was Tony's project.
Okay.
I mean, we worked like hand in hand with it, but it was his idea, it was his project. But when you see it, it's like, I'm in everything. and we shot it together and all that. But that was his idea. It's super dope. And then something. I mean, I guess I could talk about it. I don't know if I should. It was a documentary about the history of a certain word.
Okay.
So it's really, really, it's like funny and ridiculous.
Okay.
And then this thing came out on Netflix or something that was very similar. But it wasn't about the word. It was just about words. It was so I don't know what I mean. We still got it. We'll see. And then that was one thing. And then the movie is fantastic. I don't know how many pages is done on that, but it's coming together. It's like a it's a comedy, but it's not a horror movie at all, but it's a comedy.
Okay.
But it's kind of like set up in a scary situation.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know what I mean?
You two guys together work well. So like when I heard it, I was like, oh, yo, because I've been a fan of Tony Roberts for a long ass time.
You know, we all have.
Yeah. So
it's amazing.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? And then just knowing your comedic style and his comedic style, and even the little bits, you know what I'm saying, the sketches and things that you guys do together, just even on social media. I'm like, yo, this is going to be a great duo. Like whatever you guys put out in the world, I know you guys tour and do shows with each other, but like being able to do like some form of content, like a movie, or you know, even if it is, you know, more sketches or whatever, like I'm just love to see what you guys got cooking up, because I think that you got dope. But then also, you know what I'm saying, Black Tea University, I think all of y'all individually are hilarious in your podcast and so good. I haven't got a chance to check out any of y'all shows. I know y'all, when y'all get a chance to, y'all do shows, but you know, but I think like I said, you, BT, and Mikey is like, y'all all are hilarious. So it's like just to kind of see more of y'all grow with the Black Tea University and everything is really dope as well.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we got San Jose Improv next week, actually.
I mean, listen here, I'm sometime next year, because I got a lot of stuff that I got to work on out there in y'all neck of the woods. And my goal is to, when I get out there, I'm going to be doing a lot of work, but whatever comedy shows happening on the weekend, I'm definitely going to try to make sure I get out there and come to that.
Have you been to Cali?
No, I have not. Not since my brother was born there. Like I'm a military brat, so we used to live out there in Cali, and then I ain't been back since. But like with the connections that I've been making, like I got a lot of open things that once I get out,
open invites.
So I'm gonna take advantage of that, because I'm similar to you. I'm working on a documentary kind of in the wheelhouse of this geek podcast and stuff that we're doing. And so when I get out there, you know, I'm gonna tap in with CT. I'm gonna tap in with, you know what I'm saying, as many people as I can. Some of the people that I've already interviewed is down to, you know, help out with this documentary. So I'm gonna get out there, do some work, and then I'm just gonna see what I can get out there. You know, anybody who got any open invitations on podcasts or shows or whatever, I'm just trying to get out there and work and try to be out there more, because again, I've been fortunate enough to talk to a lot of y'all. And again, because of this is where I say you guys are solid. I've had these conversations, and then people are like, yo, when you get out here, just let me know. So, and I don't feel like it's a Varnell Hill type of situation, because still but you know what I'm saying, a lot of the people. So I'm like, all right, when I get out there, I'm gonna really see what's what, you know what I'm saying, and see.
Did you miss me?
All right, so we do top fives. I'm not going to ask you top five comedians, because I feel like comedians get asked that a lot. However, because of all the sports stuff that you do, and you know what I'm saying, like that, I do want to get your top five players now.
Top current players in what?
Basketball, NBA.
Who are like of all time? Or are you saying who's currently playing? I didn't.
Sorry about that. Currently playing, your top five. Currently playing right now.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this question, but I'll be trying to get clarity. Are you asking me my top five current NBA players right now, all time, or my top five current NBA players this season?
You know what? Because this season is still just starting. It started, but it still started. Let's use last season and the beginning of this season, if you had to pick.
Okay. So top five, Steph would be one. It would be Steph. 2 would be KD. Giannis would be 3. Hmm. 4. Joker. Joker was MVP last year. That's fine. We'll go Joker 4. Devin Booker.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
and it might be, yeah. Devin Booker's been legit. Yeah, Devin Booker 5.
I like that list, man. Much respect to, like I said, people hate on Steph a lot. People hate on Giannis a lot. And I'm just like, you can't deny them two. Like, to me, they are in top 5. Whether wherever you put them, you can put them wherever. But like, to not mention them, to me, I'm like, y'all bugging. Like, do y'all not see, one, Steph Curry forever changed the game. He changed the all teams. Like, I went to my little cousin's high school game, and I'm talking about cats that are like 6'4", 6'5", 7 feet, and everybody is shooting from the 3. They have no inside game. And I'm just like, bro, Steph Curry changed the whole game. Everybody wants to shoot, half court, shoot. And then Giannis hustle. Like, you don't see a lot of players that hustle as hard as Giannis does. Like, Giannis, when I became, like, obviously from Milwaukee, I've been a Bucks fan, but it was an all-star game specifically. Now, all-star game is kind of loose, but Giannis' first MVP, he was on defense. He had James Harden so frustrated that's when James Harden said, I mean, I wish I could just run through like, he was that's how mad James Harden was. But it was like, when you watch that game, Giannis was hustling like it was the finals. He was like, I was like, you know what? I like him because, like, I come from the Jordans, the Kobes, like, those are, the people that play hard off like 100%. So, when I see a player that has those same type of grind, in basketball, I gravitate towards it. And that's, Giannis has been my guy, man, So, yeah. And then, like I said, even with Devin Booker, with the Suns, I was like, look, yeah, we beat them. But, bro, Devin Booker did not make it easy. He did whatsoever. I got much respect for him. So it's like, yeah, no, I respect that list a lot. All right, so another top 5, and I like to ask comedians this because it all usually have some good stories or just reasons why. But top 5 cities that you performed in.
There's a lot of comedians that'll be attached to women they slept with in these cities. Don't let these niggas tell you anything other than that.
Okay.
You know what my favorite city was? South Carolina. That was, it's like, nigga, what's her name? Cut it out. Who is she? So outside of like my hometown, we go DC.
Okay.
We go Houston, Atlanta.
Heard great things about Atlanta.
Seattle. I said Houston, but I'm gonna just say the state of Texas.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
We'll say Houston, but Arlington was great as well. So was Addison. And Denver. Yeah, okay. Denver's always great too. Yeah.
Denver, the people in Denver is just so happy. I mean, obviously we know why, but it's like Denver is just some of the most accommodating people that I've ever met in my life. Like, I love Denver, man.
This is the most beautiful weed heads I've ever been around in my life.
All right, so the last segment that we got is a recommendation. It could be something that you're watching, something that you're reading, listening to, but just something that you think that our viewers or our listeners should check out.
I seen this dope thing. Hey, I would suggest everybody check out. It's called Undeniable. It's on Amazon Prime. Let me tell you, I had a great time with it. It's this comedian. He was all right, but the whole special, it was an hour and I had the time of my life. It was phenomenal.
And I heard great things about it, man. Definitely did. I'll make sure I put it down in below. I'm not anything else, but I'm gonna make sure that link and everything.
Y'all should really. I listen. Y'all should watch that. Did you watch? I be watching the most random stuff, man. I just watched this joint called Uncle Tom last night. It's on Amazon Prime too. It's about Black conservatives.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Because it's like them kind of telling their story, like they calling us coons because we voted Republican. It's like, what is the Democrats down for you? But I like hearing different perspectives. It's like I don't need to agree or disagree. I just want to hear. Oh, okay, interesting.
Nah, definitely.
And then I watched. I'm sure you watched True Story yet? The Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes joint.
Of course,
it's a good time, right?
Really, I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, it's a good time. This nigga went full John Wick.
Man,
I was like, "Where's the dog?"
And then I was like, Wesley plays a grimy nigga so well. Like in all,
I feel like he's not acting. I feel like, and I think the IRS would agree with me. I feel like there's something off with this nigga. He does it too well.
Does it too well. It's so believing. All right, man. Where can my people find you at, man?
Sir Lance Woods on everything, and on Twitter, just add another S to the Woods. Sir Lance. Sir Lance Woods. I mean, Facebook, Lance Woods, whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to build my TikTok up.
Okay.
It's not the easiest thing in the world.
It's not. Trust me.
trying to learn. I was like, I just learned these other ones. I got to learn a whole nother thing. Oh my goodness, this is difficult.
I'll add like Ty Davis. She be killing it on TikTok now.
Oh yeah.
People getting banned though. She be fighting with the social medias. I love Ty. I did her logo, the Clubhouse Oprah logo. And
yeah.
What's the other one that I did? The Yam Fam logo. I did those logos for her. So me and Ty, we like I done got, close with Ty, but like Ty be fighting with the social medias, man. She be hilarious on that shit.
You do logo designs.
Oh man, I'm trying to get in where I fit in. I am a graphic designer as well, but I do content creation, I do podcasts, I make music. I'm trying to get in where I fit in, trying to be in that world, in that realm of just working with people and doing more. So, yeah.
Interesting. We should talk.
Definitely will, brother.
I've been looking at logo design, but it's just everything is just merch.
Oh yeah, no, definitely just merch. I mean, because like I also did CP's Reggie Bo logo for that he's selling. Like bro, we'll chop it up after this for sure.
Okay.
Definitely will. But man, all right, man. This is 1-on-1 with Deuces. I've been your boy Deuces. This has been the amazing of this, the Harvard graduate himself, Sir Lance Woods, man. Make sure you go check out that Undeniable on Amazon Prime right now. And we are out.
Flawless victory.